Welcome, everybody, to Dallas Personal Robotics Group Robot Builders Night Virtual for Tuesday, August 4th, 2026. Tonight, we will do our normal roundtable presentations and then open up the floor to any questions you may have. Housekeeping, Robo Columbus 2026 is coming up. It's coming up quick. Around 4 months or so before the event. And get the wheels on the ground and get going. So tonight we will start off our presenters with Paul, who will give us an update on, I believe it's Robo Moberry.
Yeah. So nothing like big, but just want to share several advances. So actually, this is the RoboMo motor and wheel, and I've got it to use Doug and Ray's encoder idea. So it just works like a champ, and so I've got quadrature encoding now. The single channel encoding that was in it was kind of, like Doug said, sketchy. So anyway, that's working great.
Cool.
And
I think the spec on that was 5 volts. Is it working at 3.3? Okay.
Yes, the spec is 5 volts and it's working fine on 3.3.
Okay.
Doug had mentioned that to me as well about one I had, that he says most of them typically will work fine at 3.3, even though the spec is 5.
Yeah, working like a champ. A second thing on Moberry, let's see, I'm going to share, maybe I'll share a screen, might be the best way to do this. Let me just do this. Vlad got a camera going on Moberry, and so let me just share my screen.
You have a little feedback coming in from your speakers.
Yeah.
A little echo.
Okay. I don't know what to do about that.
That was me, right? You said, Pat?
Yeah, Pat. Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
Paul just flipped around.
Okay.
Gee, how'd you do that?
Yeah. So this is one of the cameras that Rich got from my neighbor. So probably can't see too much from here, but if you look at my, let's see. So yeah, I guess if you look at my video, you can see the kind of size of it. It's basically an Arduino Adjucam with a USB interface and in a waterproof box. And what I want to point out is the pretty decent response time of it. Now you can see that there's a certain amount of graininess, but it's pretty responsive. And so what Vlad did was the camera is emitting, so Ross topic list is emitting USB camera down, so he downscaled it from whatever it is natively to 320 by 240. And so it's emitting this set of downscaled images. Image raw and image raw compressed are the two that are interesting. And what I'm showing at the moment is image raw compressed. And if I switch over to image raw, you will see that it sort of becomes quite laggy compared to like the live video. And the reason for that can be seen in the bandwidth analysis. So image raw compressed. So this is 320 by 240. Sorry, this image raw compressed. That's more than I saw before. Yeah, it's heading downwards because the average is taking a while to come up. And before I saw it was at yeah. So the averaging window. So this is from 100 messages. Before, when I first ran it, it was running at about 12 kilobytes per second, and I think we're heading there, 12 to 15, which is, not much bandwidth, and results in the fairly decent responsiveness that you see versus if I put on the show the bandwidth of the image raw, that's the uncompressed. It's still downscaled to 320 by 240, but okay, come on. Well, I'm not getting anything.
OS2.
Topic bandwidth. History camera downscaled image. Oh, that should be right. There we go. I don't know why it didn't work before, but instead of 12 kilobytes per second, we're looking at 2 megabytes per second.
Yeah, I think it cut off the R. It looked like it was OS2.
Yeah, right. There was a history glitch there, but so that's just a demonstration of the amount of compression going on between the Raspberry Pi and I'm running the client on my laptop. So that translates into much less bandwidth going over the wireless link, and consequently, instead of seeing this like lagginess and sort of like stutters that you can see on the uncompressed, looking at the compressed size, and I'm going to terminate that, and it takes a little while to catch up. I don't quite know why, but anyway, the intent of this feature is for is to do teleop driving. So obviously real-time response rate is pretty crucial for teleop. The idea is I should be able to put the mower outside and drive it from inside at my desk. And this is like pretty good responsiveness that stems from the bandwidth consumption that is about a 50th, I think.
If you move, does the bandwidth go up?
Good question. I can let me do that and see.
Oh, that's very low.
Um,
Oh, no.
so I'm not sure why it like starts off at 197 and then it sort of drops. Oops. Am I looking at the right one here?
695.
It's not what I'm seeing here.
So you're moving and it's going back up a little. Yeah, because I don't know how it's being compressed, but I know sometimes they'll compare, you know, two adjacent frames, and if the pixels are the same,
Right.
you know, that
Right.
requires much bandwidth. And
Right.
yeah, they can also look at, you know, individual lines in the two images and say, okay, what
Yeah.
changed from this one to this one?
Yeah.
And just report the change, not the whole image.
Right. But you guys saw the bandwidth for the compressed image reporting before it worked its way down to 12, but now it's sitting up at 195. So mystery there. I don't really understand that.
Yeah. Oh, this wasn't the raw?
No, this is the compressed now.
Oh, okay.
All
right.
Wonder what happens if I switch to drawing from raw. Oh.
And now it's dropping.
No, I'm sorry. It's not a very convincing demo, is it? I can't explain the numbers that I'm seeing. Well, anyway, maybe suffice it to say that we've got video going from Moberry via a waterproof iDoCam USB connected to the Raspberry Pi. So that's kind of cool. So I think encoders. I think that's all. Oh, the only other thing I thought I could report is that I'm about to start. So this is not a demo, but I'm about to start integrating a B&O 085 IMU. Some of you guys have used that thing, right? And what's been your experience with it? I've heard. I mean, what I've heard.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the 6-scan contest, I actually use that in RVC mode, robot vacuum cleaner mode. There's such a mode on there.
That's a 2D mode. Yeah.
What?
That's a 2-dimensional mode.
Yeah. And I was just looking at yaw.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it worked on indoors and on that concrete floor that had all kinds of weird rebar in it.
And so you turned off the magnetometer part of it?
No, just set it in RVC mode and took a look at what came out. And it's a serial output. It's I think it's around I want to say around 100 hertz, I think, from what I remember. And it seemed pretty solid. I was really worried about going there and you know, I was testing it upstairs where there's no rebar and in my house, and I didn't really have a place to test it on the floor, the concrete floor that was big enough.
Are you using RVC serial unidirectional?
RVC, say that again?
Like RVC serial mode is like a one-way serial mode.
Yeah, you just really need a receive. There's a jumper on the back to set it in RVC mode.
Right. And it doesn't take commands. It just gives you data.
Yeah, and you can use what you want.
Yeah.
I think it's got yaw, pitch, roll, and readouts from the. Getting feedback from my mic now.
No.
Oh,
Nope.
No.
Yeah, I think you can look at the what the gyro's doing, individual things, what the magnetometers are doing, and accelerometers, but I just needed it for a compass setting to get back basically to point, parallel with the long walls of the course. So,
Because I was worried because I've used the BNO 055 before, and I used it on Robo, and I found it would like reset itself, and I had to basically turn it off because it would decide to recalibrate itself like just at random times.
yeah.
But I read that the 85 doesn't do that. You can lock it in.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it was
Are
two
you
different
able-
groups that developed that software. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, it seemed to work pretty good.
Good.
No complaints. Did what
So
I needed it to do.
Are
That's
you
all
able
I
to
had.
save the calibration data for it?
What?
For the BNO 085, are you able to save the calibration data instead of
Yep.
having to do a full calibration all the time?
That's what Gemini told me. Yeah.
you're supposed to be able to. I think I've done it with varying
Yeah.
success. Yeah.
I didn't do any calibration at all. I mean, I just
Well, in the mode you're working in, you can't do anything. Yeah.
in RVC, yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
yeah.
Because that's
Well,
I'm just curious how it would work for a compass, and would you have to calibrate it or?
It seemed very good. It only required some motion, I think, in some direction to, I don't know if you'd call that calibration. I guess to put out valid data. I'm not certain how it does it. I just read.
It's called
Red
dynamic calibration. Yeah.
Yeah, so it has to move a little bit to do that.
Mhm.
And I
That's
don't
a
remember.
problem with bigger robots.
Say that again.
That's a problem with bigger robots. And
Oh.
trying to move and do a calibration on them.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. Pick up your car and do an 8-figure.
that's
Right.
right. The infinite loops, infinity loops, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it worked pretty good.
That's all I had.
Well, thanks, Paul.
Yeah. Well, I looked at the PNO 85s and they're like $50 these days.
Ooh, they are at Adafruit.
Oh, that's right. Look, Adafruit is 25. Oh, in Amazon they were $50, and it's right. And Adafruit it was only 25 or 30.
Yeah, somewhere around 29, I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just under 30. Well, Paul, I have the equivalent, but it's not nearly as sophisticated as your approach there. I have an FPV camera, like I don't know what it is. It's like NTSC resolution. So not, pretty crude. And there it is. Got this thing at the Goodwill for $1.99. It's a
Oh my gosh.
receiver with a monitor in it, and
Wow.
you can strap on two separate antennas here if you want. So I don't know if this is a name brand. It's QUANUM, Quantum. But
Hey, as long as it works.
it was one of those $1.99 risks at the Goodwill. So
Break the bank.
yeah. So, and that works totally independent of the, of everything else on the mower. Just as long as there's 12 volts, it'll work.
So you're going to put that on your camera, the camera pod?
Oh, yeah, on the mower. It's already on
mower.
one of them. And then, I could just stick that thing in my head and, try to steer it around, I guess.
So you sit in a chair and have a beer while steering the mower around.
Yeah. So, like I said, just as long as there's 12 volts to run of course, I don't think they go that far. I'm not certain. And then, if I'm inside and there's walls and brick and everything else, how far does it go? It may I may just kind of lose it and then not know where I am.
Yeah, and when you put the glasses on, you can't see where you are anyway, but you'll be running into walls yourself.
That's true. Yeah. Gotta take the glasses off before I get up and run outside to stop it,
Okay. Well, up next, I guess, is me. Share window. This guy. Share. Can you guys see my window?
Yep.
Okay, so what I've got a script running. I'm going to start one off backplane. So backplane starts is like a relay. It's got a subscriber port at 5560 and a publisher port at 5559. And then I'm going to start my publisher. Oops. So my publisher is publishing away, and I'll start my subscriber. Ooh, it didn't like that. Where am I? So there's my subscriber. And I stop this guy. We have two numbers. Copy these guys. I don't know if I can make them bigger. So that's just two timestamps. So the first one is the time sent, and the second one is the time received on my message. And so if I take the time received, copy, put him in there, minus, let's go to time sent.
Versus 308, I guess.
Copy.
Millisecond.
So we're looking at 0.68 milliseconds. So that's all the data I'm sending right now is just the timestamp. But it still is much, much better than I was getting with Redis. So this guy here, he should start back up. And I'm publishing 100 messages a second right now. So it's showing a little bit of promise, being able to send and receive in an appropriate amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just something I've been looking at. Not very complicated so far. So just a quick and dirty. So they're all three separate processes running on the local host, basically. So I have a backplane, and it's running ZeroMQ, which is a version of MQTT. For Python, and it creates a subscriber port, and so it'll create a subscriber port socket, and it sets it to the publisher port because it's acting as a relay. So it'll subscribe to everybody. And does the same thing with the publishing port. It'll publish to all subscribers. And it just basically runs a loop, a little bit of cleanup logic.
Are you using localhost?
Yeah, I'm using localhost.
Okay.
And basically, this guy here basically sets up the same thing, sets up a socket to publish on. Oh, sorry. Publisher. Why does it keep doing that on me? Sets up, same thing, sets up a publisher on a socket, waits a couple seconds for it to get there. I had a bunch of test logic in there, but basically my last one was just get a timestamp and send it out as a timestamp with a topic. The topic was robot motor for whatever I wanted. Then it sleeps 100 or sleeps 10 milliseconds and starts over. The subscriber, same basic thing. Sets up a socket, listens for, this guy's listening for anybody right now, but you can filter out the topic, whatever you want the topic to be. Just same as you would do with MQTT. And basically receiving a timestamp, I'm splitting it up into essentially ASCII text and then just print it out. Really, really simple, but it's turning out to be fairly fast at 0.6 milliseconds. So
is that just faster than MQTT a lot, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Faster than MQTT that I found. The other one is there's absolutely no message retention. If you're not subscribed to the message. So if I start at the subscriber, he's listening, and I start at the publisher, he will go and, oh, hang on. Let's start up the back plane. So he will go, and the other one starts up. So the subscriber starts up after. But as I'm going, he hasn't remembered anything. So he just grabs the latest data that's being kicked out. So it's one message, that's it, that gets retained. And so there's no, the problem I was having with the MQTT is that it would retain several messages, and no matter what I tried, I was always getting farther and farther behind on messaging.
Is it robust? So it's not UDP, it's TCP?
It's TCP.
Right.
And apparently they use it for transmitting video. So transmits frames of video, and apparently they're doing it with very little latency. So I'm not nearly, that big. I'm going to have maybe 100 bytes at most in a message. But it's an inter-process communication. So each window essentially runs as a separate process. So it's not one Python script calling another Python script. It's all separate. So it makes it easy. Just a way of trying to get around some of the niceties of ROS, which has a very complex learning curve, and being able to use it on regular Python or C++ or whatever you want to program it.
Kind of makes me wonder, what does Ross use?
ROS uses something called DDS, Distributed Data Services, which is a protocol built on top of UDP, but it has various levels of persistence that you can program it, that you can configure. So basically from a TCP equivalent where it tries not to lose messages to a UDP equivalent where it's fire and forget. So different service levels, but basically it's built on top of UDP, but without UDP's lossy characteristics necessarily.
So the idea I'm looking at is to put the subscribers in a thread, so that would automatically capture any of the topics we're listing for.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it was a little bit of looking. Actually, it was AI that gave me the alternatives for inter-process communications for MQTT and Redis. And I asked for something that had lower latency, and it came out with ZeroMQ, which was sub-millisecond latency.
Yeah. Because I've always been wondering if I'm going to make a project that uses ROS just for messaging.
Yeah,
this is even better. Yeah.
I like the fact that ROS has really good messaging built in, but it's a huge learning curve, and it's I'd rather spend my time programming, I think, than learning.
This may be the start of ROS 3, you know?
Yeah.
Just, the successor to ROS 2. So, who knows?
I don't know. I'm not sure how the DDS, how quick it works, but I know that so far with my testing, like I say, I've been sub-millisecond. It's like way better than the 8 or 8.5 milliseconds I was getting with Redis. And the MQTT, where I keep trying to tell it to only retain the last message, not multiple. And I would still get backed up. And eventually with 20 seconds of delay in my commands interpret.
Wow.
It would just build up and build up and build up, and it would get worse and worse, which is not good.
Was it using TCP though?
What's that?
That sounds like a consequence of using TCP.
Is ZeroMQ or MQTT?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. This one here uses TCP as well. So it uses TCP. Let me bring that back up.
So it says the AI says standard MQTT is a TCP-based protocol. So that would explain the buildup of messages, because it's trying to be a reliable protocol.
Yes, but ZeroMQ does not build up messages, so it doesn't retain it. It'll if you happen to be subscribed when the message arrives, you'll get it. If you're not subscribed, it forgets it. Doesn't need it. So it's not like you could connect to my backplane process, and it'll say, "Oh, here's the message you missed." It won't do that. So I could show you that. So if I run, let me run the backplane again. So I got my backplane running. So I'm going to run my publisher. If I run my publisher, I stop him. He's got a last message.
You're not sharing.
Oh, sorry. Let me share. Let me share my window. So you guys can see that? So in the top left, I've got my backplane is running.
I don't think we're seeing what you want us to.
Okay.
It just says picture in picture is open because you're screen sharing.
You're not seeing my screen?
No.
Stop sharing. Why am I not showing the screen? Let me try it again. share. Did you see it the first time?
Yes.
Yeah.
There. Are you seeing it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll start my backplane, which is my inter-process communications. So it's running. So if I start my publisher and I publish a bunch of topics and I stop him, so my last published topic was there. If I start my subscriber, he's waiting. There's no messages to receive because he wasn't connected before the last message was sent.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So soon as we start our publisher again, so he collects the messages. And I didn't stop him. So you can see the last one was 82000672 was when it was sent. And is he there?
Nope.
773. So 773 is there. And 232 was there. And he crapped out while he still had, before he printed the last message that he had sent.
Oh, that's very interesting.
So it's good that it only gets what's put out. And like I say, if I stop him.
Yeah, there's more delay on your print screen, on your print statement.
Yeah, there's definitely. So again, I publish messages, I go back, I try to read them, and there's nothing to read. So the messages aren't retained. So it's I thought it was interesting. It seems to be quick. We'll see how it goes. So I'm just going to start replacing my Redis code that I had with my publisher subscriber messages, topics, and see how it goes. Hopefully we get some wheels spinning this week.
Have you tried going over an actual network or just localhost?
Just localhost, and it will work over a network. It's it will work no problem over the network. I've asked it to connect to localhost, but it'll also grab the default script I was using. Will grab the network port and listen. So that you can use it across a network if you wanted to, communicate back to a laptop or something.
Cool, Pat.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It's cool for so far. We'll see if it carries on and works better than I was having luck with the last two. So that's it for me. And that was the end of our list of presenters, I believe. So does anyone else have something to present? Or questions? Stop the club?
Well, my Beano 85, I was firing it up, trying to see how well it works. And
Is it a really short meeting tonight, guys?
What were you saying, Mike?
Right?
oh, well, my BNO 85, I fired it up, trying to see what's going on, and it has a skew on roll and pitch. It has an offset, and so I'm trying to figure out what that is, and I'm thinking maybe it got disconnected. It's not connected well. it's inside my Jeep body and I can't really see it.
Mm.
So I gotta pull it apart, check it out.
Oh, so you're
Well-
saying like physical orientation, it might have
Yeah, it
rolled
might
a
have
little
slipped.
and pitched a little.
Yeah,
That's
because I know
possible.
it wasn't horribly well secured. So,
Oh,
so I'm
ooh.
going, what's going on? Is my something? Is there like a calibration error? And I was reading up, and there's all kinds of things that could happen, but oh well. So I'm
Physical orientation may be the one though.
Yeah.
so I got to
Mechanical.
take it apart. And I
mechanical-
wanted to do something anyway. So
Had to break
So
out the
Mike,
hot glue.
Mike,
Yeah, there you go. Hot glue.
do you have a ROS driver for the BNO 85?
no. I mean my microcontroller just sends it just decodes it and turns
Okay.
it into an IMU topic.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what but the issue I had with it, which I may have mentioned before, is and I was only using it for orientation, so just the gyro. And for every rotation, it would end up giving me basically an extra little bit of rotation. Right, so well, the way it puts out the numbers, I guess it's the rate of rotation, right? So that number was just consistently just a little wrong.
So,
Right,
a
so-
drift or
Well, not drift. No, not drift, because if I'm remain stationary,
okay.
no problem. It's not a drift issue. It's just some weird offset issue. If I'm actually rotating at 10 degrees per second, right, it would tell me, oh, you're rotating at 10.5 degrees a second, right?
Oh,
Now you keep doing that.
so does it
looks like-
accumulate?
Yeah,
The
it
offset
does.
accumulates?
It
Okay.
does if you don't compensate for it. So it looks like drift, but it's not drift because it only happens when I'm rotating. I could never get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
So I had to do my own calibration where I would, and it wasn't always every day the same number. So I would spin in place for I would do, let's say, 20 operations in
Yeah.
a way that I've completed 20. And my math would tell me, well, you've done 21 rotations, right? So I would be able to calculate a compensation constant that I would then put into the code. Otherwise, it would just accumulate too much and
That's bizarre.
never could
So-
get to the bottom of it. I don't know if it's just that one unit that I have, or I have no idea if it's a temperature thing, but it wasn't drift. It's not happening when it's stationary.
Is it like it does dynamic calibration? Is it just calibrating and just adjusting all the time? And
Maybe it's tied to that. Yeah, like I said, I could never really figure it out. So I just
because
did a-
when it's stationary, it doesn't dynamically calibrate. So
I mean, my workaround was working. It's just that the compensation constant wasn't always the same. So I would have to,
Hmm.
one if I calibrate it, it'll be fine for some time, but then the next day I might need to tweak it a little bit.
Huh.
There's a little thing, the boy goes up and says, Mom, this hurts when I do this. And Mom's come back and says, well, don't do that then. Do you really need to rotate that many times? And you're making your robot dizzy. It's like, oh my God.
I guess, yeah.
And when the robot's running around the yard cutting the grass, it has to rotate. So
Yeah, but not 20 times in place. I mean, and it actually rotates, at least mine rotates or pivots on one wheel. And then at the end of the run, it pivots on the other wheel. So I'm hoping for some sort of cancellation there. I don't know. It rotates in the opposite direction. So,
yeah.
Huh.
That's a good plan, Ray. I like it. Yeah.
So Chris, what you're describing becomes important when you're using only an IMU and odometry, so only inertial, dead reckoning type of sensors for determining your orientation.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it became a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's what LiDAR in combination with a map and for localization is meant to address.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I know, and I didn't have that tied in yet. Well, still don't, I guess. But
Right.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I guess your RTK would keep it sane, and the IMU would just fill in the gaps, right?
Oh yeah, if you lost RTK.
No.
If
Well, RTK drops out for a little bit, or just the slow update rate of RTK. Yeah.
For outdoor robots, yeah, but what Chris is talking about could be applicable to indoor robots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, definitely that's where I should be using the LiDAR, which I was mainly just using it for obstacle detection, but not actual localization.
Mm.
Well, I tried, but I could never get it to work well. And again, I talked about the whole distortion issue, and I need to put things back together with that problem largely solved and see how it work now. And I don't know what's new in ROS 2 in terms of the navigation stack, what has improved and what has not. So I haven't had a chance to really give this a try again more recently.
I wonder in the BNO if there's like a a maximum rate that it can tolerate for spinning in place. A certain, maybe rotate it too fast and it has an offset or accumulates an offset or something.
It gets dizzy, huh?
I wasn't.
It's dizzy, yeah. So
I mean, this isn't. It was once I had that calibration constant figured out, it would work. It would fix the issue regardless of how fast I'm rotating.
okay.
So, Chris, you just reminded me of something that I saw. I believe it came across the ROS robotics news, and it was a LiDAR processing module, and I don't know if I can lay my hands on it right away, but it claimed that it does de-skewing.
Yeah, so I have come across that in the past, in ROS 1, and I also don't remember what exactly it was. And I tried it, and it just didn't seem to work. And then that's when I then moved on and said, okay, I'm going to come up with my own algorithm, and in part because it was a fun exercise. But the ROS version of it, I forgot the name, did not seem to work as advertised.
Oh.
Would have been user error. I don't know, but it just didn't do it for me.
Okay.
So Paul, you showed submitted or whatever you did. You posted something on Discord about a fusion, a fusion that takes care of that kind of stuff too.
The fusion core, that's a different thing. That's not about LiDAR de-skewing. It's about replacing the unsupported versions of what has to do the fusion between IMU, odometry, and GPS and RTK GPS or any kind of GPS.
Does it better than the common filters in ROS?
Well, it uses Kalman filters internally.
Okay.
So it's a higher level, but it's a higher level package. And the essentially, as I understand it, the ROS has been without a fully supported and complete package that combines odometry, IMU, and GPS to produce a best estimate for a couple of years now, because the maintainer of what was the common package said, I threw up his hands and said, I give up, I'm not doing it anymore. And so this Fusion Core package apparently replaces that functionality. So it's a different thing than LiDAR deskewing.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just looking to see if I could find that article. I came across it as well, and I can't find it. Sorry for interrupting earlier. My speakers cut out again. That's why everybody was so quiet.
At least it wasn't feeding back. Yeah.
So I did come across an article describing purportedly a robotic elephant in India. It seems there's a mechanical engineer who's come up with a new entrepreneurial business plan. He's creating what were described as robotic elephants. In fact, isn't. They're animatronic elephants. But he's selling them to Hindu temples to replace the real elephants, because they're running into problems with animal rights folks. He's working on a real moving elephant, but he says that's still a prototype. So if you want to buy a robot elephant, he's the guy to talk to, looks like.
Does it look like an elephant, or just the size?
Yeah, they look like they are very realistic.
Oh, okay.
He put together a surface coating that looks just like real elephant hide and feels like it. And then there's a lot of movements because it's animatronic. He's
has a trunk,
a large number of movements.
And the trunk,
tail, trunk, ears, eyes. Yeah, the whole thing. He's working on legs now. He's got to get it moving. So he sees a great potential here for robotic elephants.
Okay, well, I've got a great segue from that. Let me just share it, because it's pretty hilarious. And so this, oops, it's not it. Just came across. Here we go. Check this out. Someone came up with this robot Centaur.
I like it.
Pretty cool.
And-
Needs a saddle.
And so it says California-based robotics startup Sataris is just developing 3 halves, a 7-foot-tall teleoperated Centaur robot designed for hazardous work. But why does it look like something you would ride? Something that seems more at home in an amusement park. and so apparently it's got like it's designed to be tall enough that it won't fit through a doorway, or its horns won't let it fit through a doorway to kind of like stop it from charging around and going crazy. It's like, this is lunacy.
Well, they're having fun. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
It's almost like Roby. Yeah.
Right? Anyway.
Roby V2, the Centaur.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
Who knows? Well, let's see. What were centaurs from Greek mythology? So maybe there's a fan of Greek history in the company or something, or the founder was a fan or something. Who knows?
was it Jason that went into like this cave, and his princess girlfriend had given him a ball of wool that he like trailed behind him so he could find his way back out of the maze.
That's the Minotaur.
Oh, that's what I'm
The big
thinking
bull,
of.
the bull man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what's the difference between a Minotaur is two-legged
No, Minotaur's the bull, half man. And the
with a
Centaur
bull
was,
head.
yeah,
That's right. And a centaur is a horse body with a man's head, or a
Yeah.
A goat's head, I think, isn't it?
Looks like that one was a goat head. Well, a satire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or satyr.
Okay.
However you pronounce it. Yeah.
So, hey, Mark, I got my certification for the 3D printer.
Good going.
And I looked into the animatronics lab, and Roby's like getting buried.
Yeah, I did that on purpose. I pushed him to the back and like protecting him with stuff.
I was protecting him. Okay.
Yeah. You got to climb over to get to him.
He's got
Is he
an
gonna be
army
there
of
tomorrow?
mannequins in front of him now.
Yeah. Sorry, Mike.
Will you be there tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm working on his chest piece. I've got an idea in mind for an upgraded chest piece.
I saw it missing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna give him a 6-pack or something.
No. No, we'll see. It might not work, so I won't reveal it yet.
You could portray him as an older robot with a beer gut, So
no, Ray.
no, okay.
So are you going tomorrow, Mike?
Yeah, I'm hoping to. Yeah. Yeah.
What are you guys thinking you might do on Roby tomorrow?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I might try out my new skills or my new opportunity to build something on the printer. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I haven't done my own yet. So I made a little teeny test cube, like 1/4 size. I think she said, I don't want to spend that much time, so do this one.
But
Hey, I got a question for you guys. And I don't know if anyone's played with Bluetooth at all. But I was trying to get a Bluetooth teleop thing going, and for Moberry. And
you mean this thing?
Well, actually, so there's a app. So.
Oh, okay. Okay. Bluetooth on your phone. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got an accelerometer in it. It uses the phone's accelerometer, and so my idea was I should be able to hold it like this to have it stopped, and then tilt it forward to make it drive forward, backwards to drive backwards, tilt it left or right to get it to turn, and the idea was that I would pipe that directly into the ESP32 on Moberry, so that I had an always on, always ready to connect, take it over and drive it home when Ross died, kind of capability. And I essentially had long latency. And so the chain was, I have the phone sending Bluetooth. So I put a ESP32C3 in the middle, because it's hard to get an ESP32 to do Wi-Fi and Bluetooth at the same time. And the main ESP32 on Moberry needs to do Wi-Fi, so it can get on the air over the air updates and this log output to my laptop, all that kind of stuff. And so I had this two-stage hop, but it would accumulate. I was running the Lynx at 115 K baud, and but it accumulated a lot of latency. So I'd like tilt it forward, and it would sort of like after a while start moving forwards, and then I'd tilt it up to stop it, and it would keep moving forwards for maybe a second or so before it stopped.
Have you thought of using Chris's ZQT? And just use Wi-Fi since you got to have Wi-Fi?
At ZQT, yeah. Well, the thing that's nice about Bluetooth is you don't have to do pairing. But that's a good point, Mike. That since I'm going to put an access point on it anyway. So I've got to just for where it Wi-Fi from the house can't reach it or whatever, and so I can like walk up to it and log into its Wi-Fi. So that's a really good point. I could do that.
I see. So the idea is you go to the robot and then take control and keep close to it. Yeah. Right. Which is what we use. Like we all, when we go out and do like Robo Columbus, we all have some kind of teleop facility, unless it's a robot that's small enough you can just pick it up and walk with it. But decent sized robots, you put in a teleop capability, and the mower, it tends to lose Wi-Fi from the house out in the front lawn, and so the idea was if Ross won't work, you just like go out and connect to it and drive it. Okay. I figured you're going to be in your lazy boy and with a drink in your hand with your glasses on. Oh. Your 3D glasses.
That's later. This is an emergency recovery capability. Okay. So I don't have to carry the darn thing.
Yeah, I don't remember what distance they cover, but have you ever looked into like 433 megahertz transceivers?
Oh,
they're very cheap. What's that?
Oh,
okay. Let's see. I don't know if I have any down here.
But your latency, I mean, that shouldn't have that much latency unless there's some weird big buffers.
Yeah. That's why I was kind of confused. I didn't dig in to try and debug it because I have other priorities, but just wondered if you guys had played with Bluetooth.
I've used Bluetooth to control robots, and I didn't design it, and it didn't have latency.
Must be something about my design, I guess.
It's not inherent, no. Like a tenth of a second, sure. But,
yeah, sure, but not a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Paul, did you write your own app that's on your phone, or did you download an existing app?
I downloaded an existing app.
Do you know which one it was?
It's called Robo, ROBO REMO. It came out of I think out of some of the high school robotics competitions work. I think is where the creators of the app.
Is that an iPhone or an Android?
It's Android only.
Android. Okay.
Anyway, I forget which one's which. I got to look them up online to translate what the numbers are. But let's see, where's my other hand? Gotta get it. Okay. One is the receiver and the other is the transmitter. They're 433 megahertz. So, if you really just want a one-way link, you need one of each of these.
That's nice.
I think you can even transmit serial data pretty low rate. It's only going to be like 9600 baud. And basically it's either, let's see, I think it's an amplitude shift, ASK or OOSK. I forget which one now. But so it looks very similar, or you can make it look very similar to RS-232, where you have a start bit of a certain width and then data bits and a stop bit, or parity if you choose to use parity. And I think those ones just use a quarter wavelength piece of wire for the antenna. You can get other antennas for them, but they're very inexpensive. I think less than, from what I remember, $2 for either the transmitter or the receiver. And I've played around with them. They seem to work pretty good, pretty consistently. So the numbers would be an SYN 115 and an SYN 480R. And you can get them at other frequencies, but these were the 433 megahertz. But yeah, that's an option. I use LoRa. I've showed you guys that stuff before, and LoRa works really well. I could probably cover a lot more distance with it than I would ever need to. And I'm just sending basically 3 bytes, the right wheel, forward and back, left wheel, forward and back, and 1 switch setting. And if the switch is in position 1, it's the robot's in teleop mode, and if it's not, it's autonomous mode. And so yeah, either one. But it sounds like you got, well, I guess if the processor dies, in either case, it's out of control. So, but it doesn't matter what you use. So,
yeah. So Paul, you were saying that you don't have to pair. Don't you have to pair your phone?
Yeah.
To the
You do have to pair it initially.
Okay. Yeah.
But after that, you can just walk up and hit connect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it sort of worked, but not very well.
For what it's worth, in the past I have used, let me put my glasses back on here. I've used these little tiny guys. Show up here somewhere. These are NRF 24Ls, 2.4 gigahertz digital radios.
Yep.
An ISP interface. You won't hook them up to your cell phone, but you can hook them up to just about anything else. I've used them in several applications with 8-bit Arduinos, and they worked extraordinarily well. Bidirectional, simple to program, excellent drivers available. This happens to be what's called the long range version, which is a couple of dollars more and comes with the 2.4 gig antenna. Yep. The driver and the hardware includes a tremendous number of options on things like selecting the digital channel, determining signal strength, handling back channel data sets. Just amazing devices. I would only use the high power version. There is a low power version with a printed circuit board antenna on it, as opposed to that large antenna connector. And it's a couple of dollars difference. So if you're interested in brewing your own, these are excellent standalone two-way radio devices. A couple of kilometers range in the ones that I tested.
Yeah. So they're HC12s?
No, they are
HC12s.
NRF 24Ls.
24Ls.
And this is a 01 Plus, which is the long range version. It simply has an RF amplifier on the chip to boost the signal to the antenna. Really simple to use and amazingly fast and powerful. You can easily do a couple of megabit per second data rates, although you can select the data rate in the driver, depending what you're driving it with, what you would need it for. Just amazing devices and not very expensive at all. I used them in a couple of projects, and because I never buy one of anything, it means I have a bag full left to use with something else.
Tom, have you considered using one of those in your RC transmitter?
I did, as a matter of fact, but I wanted to experiment with the ESP Now function, which is also working extremely well. I have that working one way with no problems at all. I haven't done any work on the project in the past week because I had too many other social and home application things I had to deal with. But I intend to make the ESP Now stuff bidirectional as well. That's the next step.
Yeah, why buy one when you could buy 20 for $1 more?
AliExpress just loves to sell you, 5 pieces at a time. But it won't work with your phone very well.
Well, I have applications where I need, I want to use like the phone as an interface to set up like some art, some machine that's working with some art pieces, and I'm going to try to figure out how to like when you log into a particular, like have it generate a Wi-Fi access point, just its own, and then when you log into it, it automatically sends you a page. And I've read some stuff that says that it can be done. And like when you go into a hotel and you log in, the first time you log in, it'll send you a page. And so I'm trying to figure out how to duplicate that functionality that Wi-Fi connect functionality is. Okay, here's the page. You've logged into my Wi-Fi network. Here's the page. So that no one has to type in a page or do an app, and it just sort of pops up on your phone as, here's the page. Yeah. I'm not sure if that can be done in a clean manner or not, but it's something in my bucket list to figure out. Because right now I have like something that you guys are having, like a transmitter and receiver piece of hardware dongle thingy to control it. I like to replace it with a phone interface that's easy to use. Yeah. I think that's sort of what Paul's trying to do. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Because everyone's got a phone and right. It's got all of the sensors and UI stuff that you would want.
Mm-hmm.
I figured since I have a box full of cast-off phones with Bluetooth capability that I probably should get smart and use one of those as a remote control.
Yeah.
But I've never gotten around to it.
Well, maybe next time I'll see if I can do a Robo Remo demo.
Yeah, the Bluetooth phone controllers for cars are all over the internet. Any Instructable will show you an example of how they did it. I haven't run across Robo Remo, but I've played with several other downloadable Arduino robot control apps that use Bluetooth. I've just never done anything more than tinker with them.
I had found one a while ago that worked with ROS. So I directly published a ROS node essentially for like a remote teleop.
Is that Byzanti?
I'm not sure. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I had done it on my little Polulu robot.
Because
it worked well. There didn't seem to be any latency with it.
I've been using Byzanti and it works decently, but so Byzanti is like an RViz replacement, but it does have a teleop capability. And I think I can probably demo that pretty easily if you guys are interested.
Robot related, of course, we're interested.
Okay, give me just a tick then. Let's see, okay. Byzanti and See if I can join the meeting. On my phone and share my screen, and that would be the best way to do that.
I guess the other option you could look at is ESP Now. This is the chick magnet that I used on the, it's a ESP board with a touchscreen display and all that. And I was just using it in one-way link, but you could add, joysticks to the front and use the touchscreen to transmit, robot control back to the robot. But
Okay. Mute. And share screen. Do that. There we go. Share the screen. Continue. Share screen. With Meet. Okay, and that. Okay, and then if I go to yeah, you guys are seeing that, great.
mm-hmm.
68.30. I believe it's at oh no, 35. That should be right. Yeah. So this is Visanti, and the big dot there is the teleop, and so as you move that, it sends out command vel messages, and the only problem I've seen is that it's a bit too sensitive. You push it a little bit and the robot takes off, and I haven't found any way to adjust that. But anyway, that's and all I did to enable that was I started up the Visanti launch file on the Raspberry Pi, and it opens up or starts listening on the robot's IP at port 5000 by default, and so then you can see I just sent the phone's web browser Chrome off to the robot's IP port 5000, and it gives you back a web page that you can configure, different kinds of displays on it, just kind of like RViz. I don't know the app very well, so I'm not going to try and demo it. But since we're talking about that kind of stuff, I will share the Robo Remo app. Why is it not sharing? Oh, I bet I have to unshare that. And stop sharing. And then if I share, oops, share. Share my screen. Share one app. Entire screen. Okay, now let's see if this will work. Yeah, there we go. There's the Robo Remo app, and so the menu button is always on the top left here, and so if you want to connect to your robot, you get a submenu of choices of Bluetooth RF comm as the old style non-BLE interface, or Bluetooth BLE, or internet. And I don't have Bluetooth running on the ESP32, but you get the idea that that's how you select to connect to it. And then once you've connected, then you can go to the interface, and this is my Teleop interface design. So the accelerometer up in the top right transmits accelerometer data over whatever channel you selected, be it Bluetooth or Bluetooth BLE or serial or network. Disable auto is a switch type control. Auto and alive are LEDs that illuminate when it receives messages saying the robot is alive or the robot is in autonomous mode. And then Teleop is a button that you can push and hold to cause Teleop to be active. And so I send that button status down along with the accelerometer status. And so then if I'm pushing the button, then as I move the phone around, the accelerometer readings get sent down over Bluetooth. And so the UI is pretty interesting. If you pick something random like a button, for example, so I've just gone into UI editing mode, and it's got the UI editor built right into the app. So you touch that, and you can label it with that Teleop thing. Set the text size, set the action, whether the action is remote or local on your phone. So a local action on your phone would be like connect to Bluetooth to this UUID. And then when you press, you can select press to repeat and a release. You can have different options. And then you can set repeats on the stuff. Then the accelerometer is a more interesting thing. They've got the x-axis ID, so it prefixes the message with this AX and then sends it as a float with a min and max of minus 9.8 plus 9.8. And you can limit that. And the same thing with Y and Z. And you can set the repeat period. The slider switch thing is you label it, and then when it comes across the comms interface, its status will be prefixed by the ID you give it. So here it's DA for disable auto, and then you can label it on the GUI. So anyway, that's the idea of the UI. And then if you touch a blank area of the screen, these are all the things that you can add to the UI. So you can add a button, a slider, a joystick. So the joystick looks sort of like that Visanti joystick. And LED is I showed you the LEDs that will illuminate when they receive a message. And then all these different things. I showed you the accelerometer. You can like have a text field that can print stuff that's coming back from the robot, a plotter, an image. So I guess you could watch video off the camera, maybe. I don't know. I haven't played with these other things. A vibrator, I'm not too sure about that thing. And then send files. So that at a high level, that's Robo Remo, and then you exit the editor to go back, and then you can have multiple interfaces. And so I've got a teleop interface, and I think that's the only interface. I have previously had other kinds of interfaces, but it does support multiple, like if you had an interface for teleop and another one for starting a Robo Columbus run, and different, you can, got a lot of flexibility there. So it's a pretty neat program.
Well, you can use the vibrator to give you feedback when your mower hits something. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Is that this? I think it's probably the same as haptic feedback. Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's interesting. I've never looked at vibrator. I wonder what it does.
It vibrates.
It's probably like when your phone vibrates.
Yeah, I would assume.
Yeah. And so if you press and hold the bottom, I'm pressing and holding the bottom corner here to resize the icon, and you press and hold the top button to drag it around the screen. So it's got a kind of a pretty neat UI.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how I get rid of this now. I guess
So it startles you and you fumble with the phone and drop it. No. It's like, ooh.
And then the mower runs over the phone.
That's right. Yeah.
I had a lot of trouble getting it to connect to Bluetooth BLE to the ESP32, and I ended up putting in this connect button that has a local action that sends connect BLE, and then the what do they call that? The MAC of the ESP32C3, that's the Bluetooth receiver. I screwed with that forever to try and get. Robo Remo is very particular about its Bluetooth, about its BLE discovery. I had no trouble with the old Bluetooth RF COM connecting to an ESP32, the old WROOM Waroom style that supports non-BLE, but apparently Robo Remo is known to be very picky about its filtering and displaying BLE advertisers. So anyway, all that to say, it's a pretty cool program,
isn't it?
Is it free?
Good question. I knew you'd ask, Ray, and I know the answer. The answer is yes and no. It's free with a premium. It's freemium. It's if you use up to 5 UI items, it's free. But once you want more than 5, then a perpetual license costs you like $20. So it's very, very reasonably priced. So yeah, I put down $20 and I can put as many UI items on it. But you can see that you can do a reasonable UI with only 5 items.
Like drop lists. Yeah.
So the LED. So I wanted to show you guys the LED. So when the ID is high, that means when a message comes in prefixed with HI, then the Alive LED, if HI contains a 1, then on command 1, it will turn on. The off command is 0. So anyway, yeah.
So Pat, instead of turning on an LED with an Arduino, you can turn it on with a phone too.
Yeah.
I was just wondering about the perpetual license. Is it the same type of perpetual license vSphere issued out? where you bought a lifetime subscription for vSphere and on your Windows servers, and now they want a subscription every month for the lifetime subscribers.
No, they haven't come back and asked me for more money. I bought it like a couple of years ago, and it, they just send you a key that enables you to put more than 5 widgets on your UI.
There's some weird echo thing going on right now.
Yep.
Yeah,
Pat strikes back.
that's speakers. Yeah.
Get some headphones, Pat. Oh, yeah, some. There you go. Nope. Powering on.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Is that any better?
Maybe.
Can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no feedback.
No feedback? Okay, good.
What you're talking about before with the, the expecting a premium, every month now or year or whatever it was. The T-Mobile just, we were supposed to have a non-cancelable, you couldn't cancel our plans apparently. And I guess the 8th of this month, they're going to cancel our plans. So it's like, yeah, okay.
Wow.
I did hear the rumblings on that in the phone things that they're canceling all sorts of
all sorts of feedback or noise. Anyway, we had what were supposed to be plans you couldn't cancel, and they're canceling them at T-Mobile. So it's like, okay.
That's what the fine print is.
Yep. Anyway. Yeah, I guess we have too many options. You can do it with Bluetooth. You can do it with, Wi-Fi, ESP Now,
Telepathy,
radios,
LoRa,
vision detection, like gesture detection on your camera.
Yeah. I guess that would be nice if you could look at video, control the robot all on one device, and have it be reliable and work over long distances, and
You could stand in front of the robot and sort of point, go that way, or go that way. Yeah.
You always stick it around,
Because it has a camera. Yeah.
What's wrong with telepathy?
Telepathy, yeah.
Well, guys, does anyone else have a robot-related topic? I think we're out of things for this officially for the second time. The first one was hypothetical.
I can pick your brains perhaps on Wireshark for those who have ever attempted to use Wireshark as a network monitoring tool. We've for the last little while, we've been seeing some interesting, very short loss of signal when we're streaming videos like Netflix. So I thought this was very strange. Of course, I immediately wonder what's wrong with my network. So I've been also curious about whether, is there someone in the neighborhood who's using my network and that's why I'm losing bandwidth, or what's going on? So I've begun to learn more about network analysis tools. I started fiddling around. I've been using an IP scanner for a long time, so those are easy. So I started to use Ping Plotter to get some feeling as to whether I was seeing any latency problems with my connection to my ISP. And Ping Plotter doesn't seem to show any issues when you run it for a while. Then I started to look at Nmap, the Nmap tool, to try and understand whether it would show me anything new about my LAN. that wasn't being shown by an IP scanner. And it doesn't seem to show anything strange going on. And then I figured I better bite the bullet and I better start learning something about Wireshark as a way of analyzing the traffic going in and out of my LAN. It's going to be a big, steep learning curve, I think. But I'm already seeing strange things. When I'm running a video, I'm seeing I'm seeing bursts of TCP not acknowledged messages. Then they run fine for a while, and then a bunch of them will appear for a few seconds. So I'm going to have to find out whether those are being sourced internally in my LAN on one of the many devices I have hooked up, or whether they're coming from either the very old cable modem that the cable company has given me, or the wired connection to my house, or something else. If I just phoned the cable company out of ignorance, they would either tell me everything is fine, or they would want to come and sell me a whole bunch of new stuff, not knowing what's wrong. I don't want to go down that route quite yet.
So Tom,
I'll probably start disconnecting stuff I don't need on my LAN and see what happens. Go ahead, Carl.
I have two approaches for you because I've tried them both, and there's one that's a hands down clear winner.
Yeah.
The first approach is a Udemy course on Wireshark that I found. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
And it was I got started into it enough to get dangerous. It let me get done what I had to get done about 7-8 years ago, and I parked it. And then recently we had another issue, and these are both work problems. The first one was where I needed to understand VoIP SIP traffic. So I even figured out how to get a switch where I could port mirror, and that let me do the Wireshark capture so I could watch. Anyhow, so this most recent problem is where we have these VoIP adapters, and they go across the cellular network through like an aggregator. So anyhow, packets, it seemed to me like packets were getting dropped because we were getting really crappy and intermittent traffic. Some days it'd be fine, some places it was fine, some days and some places it was just horrible. So as it turns out, I was able to get our network aggregator, who sits in between, like, say, an AT&T or T-Mobile and our network. And because all the packets from the wireless ran through their network before it came to our network, they were able to put Wireshark in. Okay, so this guy set up Wireshark, watching all the traffic, and then I was able to get one of these devices to misbehave enough to generate sample data. So at the end of several days of like watching my stopwatch and making stupid notes, I had these notes that described like, okay, I ran this pings and this many failed. I did this other like signal condition test and I got these results. So I had this really long bit of it was a notepad because I hadn't even bothered to set up an Excel spreadsheet because I didn't know what I was looking for. So I just took this stream of consciousness notes over a couple of days with my stopwatch, and my guy in the network sent me a 4 megabyte PCAP file from Wireshark. Okay, so I had a 4 megabyte PCAP file, tens of thousands of packets, right? And I had my 2.5-3 pages worth of stupid notes where ping failed, ping worked, ping failed, and I had times in there. So I opened, here's the magic secret that you might guess where I was aiming. The acronym is GPT. Okay? So I got my personal paid $20 a month GPT plan. Oh no, this was again the work one, $25 a month, but it's the same thing. About the same level of quota you can use. And I said, okay, here's the 4 megabyte PCAP. No. And here's my several page long text file, crappy notes, like from this time range I got this time range I got that. Why don't you tell me if you can find any pattern, if you can first, and I put some time into this prompt. I spent like 45 minutes or so to give it a clear statement of work, right? And this was before GPT 5.6 and work. This was the one before that. So it was just chat mode, GPT-5, high reasoning. And I said, okay, first of all, see if you can identify groups of packets in this 4 megabyte file that align with my timestamps. And then if you can do that, look for patterns of behavior and clusters of data that show what might be going on, why in these periods it worked, and in those periods it didn't work. So I threw that at the GPT. I came back after an iced tea and a snack or something, and wouldn't you know, but it did a freaking damn good job.
No kidding.
No kidding. I mean, and did I have to touch my Wireshark course at all? No. Did I even have to open the Wireshark file, the 4 megabyte, tens of thousands of packet? No. I just threw it at GPT. And what I learned from this was that our VoIP adapters are using this archaic standard for device management. And it has, I mean, this reminds me of your UDP discussions earlier, because there was like retries, and every time it would drop a packet, then it would do a retry, but then it started this back off algorithm because there was this ancient thing designed before mobile networks. So the next thing, so you try and do a simple refresh or a health check, and the next thing you know, it's 10 minutes later and it hasn't come back yet. And that's because it dropped like a control packet. Okay. And then it did the back off, and then it tried again, it dropped that one. So anyhow, there's your answer. So forget learning how to do it. Just throw it at GPT, give it good context about what you want to learn, and it'll tell you what you need to go figure out.
All right. That's good advice.
Use the paid account and the high reasoning mode. Okay. And don't be afraid to let it burn some tokens in some time.
All right.
That's my advice for the day.
Okay.
When in doubt.
And I may get to that point once I get a little better feeling. I have to get into my note-taking mode first. I'm not there yet.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere.
I with capturing data while playing a video earlier today, and that's when I began to already notice funny things. So we'll see.
Well, good luck with that.
With watching videos.
I can't wait to hear how it goes for you.
We'll see. See, there's so many distractions in life. That's why my transmitter project, I didn't make any progress on it today. Oh, well.
Good advice, Carl. The voice of experience.
I was going to say, but it's probably not going to be a voice codec, right? So
I may get to the point where I'm talking to the cable company about their ISP service, and they're going to come back and say, oh, yeah, that piece of wire that's going to your house is 45 years old. I guess we could change it. And I think I have a 20-year-old modem at this end. It's really old. So they may want to change that too. Maybe that's the answer. But I thought I better rule out my stuff first, because I got a lot of stuff hooked up to my LAN here.
But see, that's the thing, right? Because if you can capture data during periods when it's okay, and then data when there's periods where it's not okay, just throw it at the tool. Because I mean, if these LLMs are good at anything, they're at identifying clusters and classifying good clusters, one cluster from what's different about one cluster and another cluster.
Okay.
So you don't have to know; it'll figure it out and say, oh well, there's this style of packets. I don't know this codec from Atom or an Apple, but I know that these codec packet types worked in the good case and didn't in the other case, and then it'll tell you what those packet types are.
So did I hear you still have a wire running to your house? Yo, man, you're like caveman dwelling what?
Okay, so
I'm living in the hood and I've got glass right, coming all the way down. So I'm just saying.
But the wireless comes from a wire somewhere, right? So I'm setting up a new security gateway because my old one. Anyhow, yeah, it's all wired.
Yeah,
like there's no such thing as
cable to my house.
Yeah.
It's also an old house.
Well, yeah, my house was built in 1933, and I never expected us to get glass in the hood. And I don't know, it was 6-7 years ago, I was telling this to the person that came out doing the very same thing with the cable thing, checking all the wires, doing all the things, saying, hey, if the problem's in your house, we're going to have to charge them. Like, trust me, the problem's not in my house. So he checked everything else. And I was talking to him and I go, I would get glass if I could. And he goes, but I don't expect they'll ever, I'm sitting on my front porch talking to the guy, but I don't think they'll ever get glass down here in the hood because I don't live in the most affluent section of the old East Dallas, Pleasant Grove. And he gets up there and he stops for a second. He points across the thing at this before unnoticed. You see that orange box hanging off the telephone pole right there? I said, that's glass, isn't it?
Yes.
What number do I call?
The phone company has run glass all through my neighborhood, but the cable company, which is what I've always used, is still on coax.
Yeah, the cable company is very resistant to change out all that coax stuff too. I've had a conversation with those folks for the very same reason that you're talking about as well. So yeah, I had those same conversations.
We still have wires hanging from poles on the street. A lot of new neighborhoods don't do anything hanging from poles anymore.
Yeah, they're all underground.
Yeah.
Yeah, on our street, I think it's a phone cable. Somehow it ended up on the edge of the road, and every time they grate the road, they scrape off, more protection on the cable. So it's kind of embedded in, I don't know, it's like, I think they call it washer rock. It's, if you have some leftover concrete, you wash all the cement out of it, and then it makes a good road topping, so it's sharp angular rocks and that have been crushed at one point, and probably the worst thing that you could run over in it with a cable, or with a vehicle and running over a cable. So, but apparently just for phone service, they're paying like $80 a month. And these are some of the worst lines. I mean, it rains and, you can barely hear the person on the other end. It's so crackly, it's just like, okay, not going to do that anymore. Got rid of it. So, but our next door neighbor still has it. So.
Yes, the phone company would probably love to run optical fiber to my house, but they'd probably be really unhappy when I tell them I don't want any of their value-added features except ordinary internet, and I don't want high speed. I've got 60 gig bandwidth here, and that's plenty. And I don't have cable TV, and I don't need their phone service. So they might be unhappy. Oh, and also they're going to have to compete with all the third-party suppliers that ride at wholesale rates on their infrastructure, and they are typically a lot cheaper than the name brand guys.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Tom. The reason I still have basic cable is because when I went to AT&T, and this is who my fiber's through, and I upgraded to all the stuff, they said. I go and I started downgrading all the. I got 27,000 channels. I watched like 3 or 4 or something like that, and then YouTube, right? And then and they said, well, if you take all those things off, and you don't have this internet thing, it's going to cost you a way much more. Like, okay, cool. So what do I do? You need to put this on, and it'll bring it back down to what you're expecting. Okay, put on basic cable. So I got that. That was years ago. So about once every couple of years, I get in and I try to even remove that because we don't even watch that anymore. We got HDTV for the local stuff, and we don't even watch any of that stuff on the cable box. And every time I go to try to remove it, it still costs me more to get rid of it than to keep it. So you're telling me I'm going to get rid of something and pay more. How about I just don't get rid of it? And so even though I don't use it.
There are a number of very good aftermarket internet service providers who run on either the cable service or the telephone service, because that's the law in Canada. They're required to provide wholesale services, and they're way cheaper than the name brand stuff. So every once in a while, I get to phone the cable company and say, I'm considering switching to one of the third-party wholesale suppliers of internet service. Will you match their price? Oh, yes, sir. Please, sir. We don't want to lose you. We'll match their price.
That's
The last
great.
time I did that, I
I-
had to agree in writing to match that price for a 15-year term.
Ooh.
So I'm going to put on my, tinfoil hat, colander head kind of thing on this thing, on this. And the funny thing is on that, because of transfer, access and transmission subsidies and the subsidies from the government, all that kind of stuff, every bit of this equipment they don't want to pay for more has been paid for years, several times over. And not that it doesn't take maintenance, and I understand that. So I'm not going to take all that away from them, but what they're saying and what they're having to pay for is not, they paid the hard costs a long time ago. And now they got to upkeep it and things, but they won't tell you that though. They'll act like, well, we got to do this. Yeah, you do, but you're not doing it here in my house.
They want to keep milking the cash cow as long as they can.
Yeah. And I know that's conspiracy theory kind of thing, but I talked to some people, and this is always back when we had modems. So when we had back in the day when the internet was coming up, I was with the on-ramp, and we knew a lot about modems and wires and things and all that kind of thing, right? And basically they had all these lawsuits about getting rid of it. Internet service providers are charging extra to them because they keep the phone lines up all the time because the switches weren't designed to have all that. And we got to looking into it seriously and like, man, what do you mean? You have hardware that you've been paid for 20 years and now we're utilizing it and you're mad about it, want to charge you more for it because now you got to upgrade it. Dude, you should have been banking. Anyway, I'll shut up now because I'm yelling at the yard, get off my lawn. The sky hates me. I'm an old man, doing the thing. So
Anyway, we'll see what I can learn as I keep tinkering with Wireshark and whether I end up calling the cable company after all, because I conclude the fault is on their end of the modem. So we'll see.
Wow.
I hope it's not my end.
And those modems, all that circuitry for that, all that stuff has a lifespan between heat and all the transmission stuff that goes through it. I know it's solid state, but there's a lifespan with all that stuff. And you just might be the end of one of those lifespans and something's giving you some noise.
That's exactly what I'm wondering now. Yeah. So I have a router or my own router, which is a year old. And I've got a couple of fairly new switches that are hooked up to it. And I have an older second access point, which I can disconnect if I have to make sure it's not the problem. But that's really all I've got. Everything else is either Wi-Fi or it's plugged into one of the switches. So I'm going to watch and see what's coming through the router. But so far I'm not seeing much. The TCP not acknowledgement packets indicate connections with outside URL addresses. So I don't think it's internal, but we'll see. At least I'll have confidence when I call them.
Iranian hackers. I think that's what it is.
The telephone
supposedly there were
cable system.
Several you probably heard it in the news, several municipalities that apparently they attacked water control systems. It's probably the same sort of thing. That water control system is 20 years old. It still works, but
they hit a small one in a town in Quebec, in the province of Quebec this past.
Oh, they did.
Yeah. So the mayor is all up in arms saying, how come the federal government's allowing this to happen? Oh, wait a minute. Let's have a look at your water control system.
Maybe they should have upgraded from Windows 7.
Maybe they could not have connected it to the internet.
You remember a couple of years ago, Vegas got hacked, right? You guys remember that? Do you ever know what the thing was? MGM got hacked. And you'd figure with all the money in Vegas and all the stuff they do, their security would be wired tight, right? And it probably is. But what happened was we have to go to Vegas every year. And this one time I went to Vegas and all their computers in the elevators and everything had Windows boot sequence and can't find this, and they're all rebooting, and the menu ordering stuff was all shut down and doing things. And because literally it got hacked and started somebody taking off with the goods, so to speak, and they were fixing that problem. And what it turned out to be is that there was as good as their security is, it turns out to be a people problem, because there was like 3 people on the planet that had the password or had access to passwords to get in where they needed to get into, where they hacked. How they got in was one of the network persons that had the password had a Plex server serving up movies or whatever that they want to do on the Plex server. I'm not going to be, wink, wink, whatever they want on the Plex servers, whatever's on the Plex server. It was open to the internet so they could watch their movies anywhere on the world. It was 3 years out of date on their patches. This is obviously a targeted attack, because you can wander by this, but this is going to be somebody you're looking to get in. They got in on the Plex server, they got into that, and then they were able to get into that person's network, find their PC they use from their house to access all the network, installed a keylogger on it, and the game was over.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So MGM proper was done, was good, but this guy that's a network security expert did not keep his own stuff up to date, and that's how they got in. That's insane, right? You'd figured that it'd be wired. I mean, I don't know how many billions of dollars those casinos run through. I have no idea. But as much as money is running through that whole thing, you figured they would be wired so tight,
Yeah.
You can make diamonds crushing it so tight on that, from whatever subject you wanted, it's so wired so tight. And they this one guy messed up.
One weakness.
Mm-hmm.
But did he just open up some ports so he can watch Plex at
Well, yeah. From what I understand and what I was able to read, he had a Plex server open to the internet, and I'm only assuming that he did that so he could listen to his music, his movie, watch his movies from anywhere in the world as he's traveling, or doing whatever that is, and it was open to the outside world inside his house. And it was out of date by 3 years of patches, which that should have been on auto update as far as that goes on the Plex server stuff. But it's been a long time since I've looked at the Plex server, so I'm sure they've got an auto update feature, but I don't know. Sure, I don't know exactly on that.
Well, I remember the first time we set up at-home support for 24-hour industrial systems in the late 70s. The only way we could get management to agree to allow us to do that, instead of having to drive into work to solve a computer problem, the only way is they would say, well, you have to speak with one of the electricians at work who has to confirm over the phone that it's you. And once he's confirmed that it's you, he'll turn the modem on.
Yeah.
Man, that was good security.
That works, right?
Yep.
That works. Anyway,
we were all techies, young techies in those days, and we were willing to try for anything. We convinced them we could solve the problem an hour faster than if we had to drive into work.
Yeah, especially you could do the work from home thing, live in the future and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, that's right. That was back in the good old days when computer life was simple. We all actually programmed. We didn't have a program to write a program.
Yeah. I still I do call myself a developer, but in the last couple of months, in fact, I was yelling at, we were using Windsurf. I got used to using Windsurf. Windsurf changed its name to Devon. Corporate got going on, and then somebody made some decisions that says, oh, we're going to turn off Cascades so you can use only local agents and other stuff, and you need to do these things. I did all those things. And so it should be no interruption. Well, the problem is whoever's making those corporate decisions for us, because when I got with improving, it was about 150 to 200 people. Now we're over 2,000. And so we've had to change a little bit, right? That just because you got to grow up. And so I don't I know the people. I've talked with the people. You know, as far as making these things or doing the security things, they're generally great people. Somebody made a decision, and it comes down to money for this local agent versus Cascade versus something. And then when they did that, they also made the decision of what the defaults were. I don't know who they talked to decide what those defaults were, but they didn't talk to anybody around me in my office or anywhere close to it. And near as I can tell, we like a lot of the higher, I don't say higher end people like to use the Devon CLI. So you're using the command line interface of it. Everybody that's hanging out with me, normally we're using the UI, and I'm in the agent mode, conversing with what I call the intern all the time. And guess what? Guess who all has problems? Not the CLI people, because they've got their stuff wired, but they didn't bother to ask how we're using or what we're doing. Yes, and this is not just an old man yelling at the sky. This is like, I'll fix it, I'll get around it, but I don't really appreciate the fact that somebody made these decisions, and as far as we know, we didn't have any say. Don't appreciate that at all. And maybe that's the way it has to be. I don't know. But that's just me. It's a problem to deal with. I'll be all right. Oh no, wait a minute. I'm gonna be positive. Usually I say, I'll be positive. Yeah, I'm positive it's gonna suck. No, we're not gonna do that. What we're gonna say is it's just another opportunity for me to find a solution to a problem that's bugging me. I've had a headache all day long. I am not the most cheery person, but I apologize, everybody. Oh, Lord.
Well, guys, have we exhausted our robot topics and network topics?
We've run the gamut.
I think so. Yeah. Leave me to start talking to just auger it in. Yeah.
It's time for a good night's sleep all around, I think.
So it is.
Certainly here.
Okay, guys.
A
See you
great
next
chat.
Tuesday.
All right.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Good night.